All right. So this is the Arc 4 Q&A session. I'm Luke, GM, joined here by Justin, who plays Zack in our podcast.
Yeah, this arc was wild.
Yeah. This was the bombing arc. The Nemesis arc is what it's called. I figured I tried to plan on who I would talk to for what arc, and I definitely chose you for arc 4 because I felt like you were kind of the lead. The bombs were all direct. They were your bombs, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy as it's been like since we actually played these sessions and since the recordings have come out, like it's been a while, so I don't remember all of it in fine detail. But I did.
I feel like the other players that we did Q&A sessions said the same thing. They're like, I don't. It's been a year. Like, what happened?
Yeah, and I know you were talking about doing a Q&A on this one in particular, and I mean it's one where Zach got a lot of heat, and I did go back and listen to one of the episodes that came out towards the beginning. I think it was one of the first two episodes in the arc, and my favorite thing that you added that we didn't actually have during our play session was the radio station that played Neon Lincoln. That was amazing.
Alex started helping me edit, and I was like, you know what? I gotta throw some cheese into this.
Yeah, I thought that was so good. I was listening, I just busted up.
I no joke. I have downloaded that song, and I'm like, I every once in a while I'll pull it back on. I'm like, this is actually a catchy song.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Maybe
too
I should
good.
put it on like Spotify or something so people could listen to that. Maybe I'll best supporting artist to my own thing. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love the Lincoln thing. And listeners, there are more tracks coming up, musical tracks with words. Um, I think in our next intermission, there's another one. If you remember, do you remember the next one? It involves a tribute and a cruise ship.
Oh, wait. The next like intermission kind of
Yes,
episode.
the next
Like, yeah,
intermission.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to give it away? I mean, I totally remember that episode or that session. That session was crazy.
Yeah, go for it.
Uh, okay. If I'm thinking correctly, this is the session with the Cinemastermind
That's right.
or Cinemastermind,
No,
whatever.
you had it right
But
the first
like,
time. Yeah.
Cinema. Yeah. Anyway, we were laughing because we started to catch on that it seemed like the plot was based off.
Oh, that's enough. Yeah.
Oh, cut that out, I guess. All right, good.
No,
Cut
it's
that
good.
out.
It's good.
Yep. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Anyway.
It was at a concert, right? So it's like we got more. I think I'm gonna put in the actual track that is played at the concert too, so you get to like feel it's like it's in the background. So, spoilers for 8 episodes in the future. There's music in it.
If I said anything I wasn't supposed to, just beep me out,
You're good. You're good. It's a minor thing. So it's intermissions. It's not even like the main story. It's just, yeah. All right. So maybe we should actually answer questions in the Q&A Q&A arc. Okay. So someone messaged me and they were talking about the bomb defusal episode, the one where we actually played Keep Talking Nobody Explode, and they said basically WTF. I'm like, what? You're releasing visual stuff on a podcast? Like, what? Like, I wasn't so into that, and they asked it, are there any other episodes like that so I can delete your podcast forever and not listen to those episodes? And the answer is no. There's no other episodes that we've released that have like been heavily visual. So if you really hated that style, feel free to not worry that there's going to be more. It was a lot of fun for us, but yeah, I can see that listeners might not have enjoyed it as much.
Well, I mean, to be honest, also like everything we do is not as visual. Like in most situations, we don't have visuals that we're working with, so there's a lot of like trying to figure out what something looks like, or what the context is of our space or something. So that one in particular, I guess we did have a little bit of visuals to work with, but even still, I think like it was kind of lacking. So that
I
was
was
kind of
sharing my screen most of that session, and it was like
Yeah.
I was playing at the hands of whoever was defusing the bomb. And the best part about that whole I made a mistake at the end, and I was like, oh man, like it would have been so cool if I had not made a mistake. It was the mistake that like the right combination to defuse the three circle module, whatever it was.
Okay.
It, like I said, like this one turns red when you click it, and it was the right answer. Guys, yeah, I was like, ugh. And it was I spent a long time downloading mods for Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes and testing the exact bomb I wanted to give you guys. And I tested it. I closed the game. I reopened it, tested it again, made sure it was the same bomb. I did that like twice. And then days later, I turned it on, pulled that number up, specifically that like seed, and it was a different bomb. And I was like, oh no. All the planning I did. It's like, at least I have like the modules I want, and I kind of know how to defuse them, but I haven't spent that long on it. So I'm like, it was like very improv at that moment. I was like, I don't know how. Like, and the number one, the 24 one, I was like, I don't even know how to defuse this. I typed it into ChatGPT and it got it wrong too. So who knows?
This was that wild episode where Alex just absolutely pulled. I don't even know. Like this is the one, right, where he figured out that.
Oh no. That was the previous intermission. This one.
Okay.
Yeah. Alex is nuts though. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a wild shot in the dark. That was, I don't even know what inspiration hit him at that moment. That was wild. But different episode, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. I get those mixed up with those puzzle ones that we did.
It's funny because in contrast, this one he could not. He like mistakenly added numbers to 24 twice in a row, and Edward kept correcting him. He's like, no, that's actually my preview of the episode. Edward's like, that adds up to 30.
Nice.
Next, someone asked me if I'm going to do a story recap at some point, or have a wiki of the NPCs in the game. And the answer is, to the first one, that's a good idea. I might do that. Maybe just a few minutes to talk about what's happened in the arc, or the last 3 or 4 arcs. A wiki, though, probably not. We have one that we kind of like maintain. It's like a Google Doc that has all the
Yeah, like the player notes and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, fleshing it out once it's once things are confirmed and without spoiling anything. I guess that would spoil things to a degree.
So I'm like, I'm okay with like a wiki out there, but I'm not gonna create like a web page for it or anything. If someone wants to do it for us, I'll confirm or the data is valid or something. But I don't think I'm gonna create a web page that gives all the details.
You could actually just share a public Google Doc with viewer access that just has basic details about everything.
Yeah, that's better. And I just keep it to the like
no
NPC
spoilers.
descriptions.
NPC
notes.
descriptions. Yeah, although that would kind of still be spoiler. Like if you looked it up, and you're still in the first arc, and some of the characters haven't been introduced yet, and they're gonna be there.
Yeah, there's some characters that change over time, like Jonathan maybe, because if Jonathan introduced in the beginning, you wouldn't know who he was, and the reveal early would kind of ruin a little bit.
Yeah, I guess that'd be tough because the characters evolve, and that would give spoilers. Looking at that wiki, although I don't know, maybe that's the nature of it. It just because I mean, if you think about it, right? If you look up the wiki for say a game or a movie, right?
Yeah.
Like it's going to tell you about the story. Yeah, it's going to tell you about the story in the game or the movie, and you're gonna learn like about these characters and all that stuff. So I guess, you know, that's its whole point, is to spoil it.
Yeah. I
But it does also solidify canon details, right? Like what's true.
I didn't realize this until I had like been re-listening to some of the old episodes. I had gender swapped Zigzag at some point.
Oh, what?
Apparently, it used to be a man and became a woman at some point.
No.
Okay, maybe that's part of the power. Who knows?
Yeah, it was just because you were probably generating on the fly.
Yeah. It's. I think it become a combination of a few things. Um, I saw this person on TV who used that name, Zigzag, and I was like, oh, that's a clever name. They were like an acrobat or something, or parkour or something. I can't remember what they did, but I basically I was like, I like the name and I like the power set, but how can I make it like super? And I was like, oh, I know, I can give it the power set. So I basically chose the power set of a male hero that I'd like seen in the past. So I gave her the power set of the guy from Alphas who has perfect aim. Basically, he has like perfect dexterity and accuracy for everything he like throws, kind of like Bullseye in Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I chose a male guy's power and a female's name. So that's probably why it's like flip flopping in my head.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, but like it's little things like that you don't think about. Like, because I mean, I decided, I think I decided to create Zigzag during the arc where you had the power tournament. I was trying to create a bunch of people with powers. So I was like, what's powers? What's powers? I need powers. And I got some weird ones. We got people like Hangman. But yeah, it was coming up with a lot all at once.
Yeah, I think that was like the most we really played with powers. Actually, it all kind of went by really fast in the tournament. Although that happens before the Nemesis arc, which is what this Q&A is supposed to really be about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I guess we maybe we go a little bit more of the what happened before we continue with questions. So you all met, like I had designed it. I designed it when Theo was still with us. Actually, I wrote the story when Theo was still a member. So you were all there were supposed to be 4 Nemesis, and
Nemesi?
yeah, Nemesi. Initially, I basically wrote it down. I was like, okay, what is everyone's weakness? And so I was like, okay, like Edward was easy. I was like, okay, he's gonna throw books really hard. What if he can't hit his target? What if his target is immaterial? What's his next move? That's a hard thing to counter with something when physical damage is your main like weapon. How do you combat someone who you can't hit? Okay, so it's like that's easy. Okay, Jade. She can teleport anywhere she can see. Well, what if she can't see? Her main opponent is someone who makes her blind. Okay. I had a harder time with. I was like, okay, your powers are support.
Exactly.
Like without you, like, well, what are you good at? You're a philanthropist who's super smart. So I was like, you know what? I think I like a Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty. So I was like, I don't think your opponent even needs powers. I think your opponent is just someone who's also really smart and basically the counterpoint of your like philanthropy. I don't say like all evil or anything, but like they want everything for themselves, while you want everything for everybody else. So it's like, and I don't know if you know this, but I did not plan on making it Jonathan until you like led me down that path. Like it was
Interesting.
not going to be Jonathan at the start.
Okay, that's really cool that worked out.
I initially named this person Bomber, and I was like, I'll figure out who that is later. And then you're like,
Oh
this
my
guy, I'm
God.
gonna fire his ass. So
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah,
hello, Bomber.
that's
Note
funny that
taken.
worked out that way. I had a hard time with it too because I mean, it's funny you lay this all out now because I had no
Yeah.
idea that that was like the foundation for setting up that whole arc. I mean, as we're playing it, we're not really thinking about the name of the arc so much. I mean, except for like the Fi tournament one, but we're not really thinking about the name of the arc so much as we're playing it, and things are just kind of going along. And so the fact that you had this whole foundation established, like, okay, we're gonna have these Nemesis like characters that are the perfect counters kind of thing, or the ideal counters to our characters. Now that you say it, it makes a lot of sense, but I was not so like personally, I'm not Zack in so many ways. Like I'm not, you know, I'm not super rich and have like this company that I have to manage. I don't need to know like all those businessy things. And frankly, I feel like, Zach doesn't actually want to do that stuff either, and he's not very good at it either, which is why he has Nigel. Sure, he inherited his parents' like company and stuff. But really there's certain values he still wants to uphold and be there for that, but he's not like trained in business as much as he can help it. He's interested in everything else. So that's I think he was super weak to responding to that kind of attack, like on
Hmm.
his business and stuff. And personally I was just like, oh God, I could not think quick enough to figure that stuff out and respond well. I mean, I think I tried, like, maybe we'll make some sort of effort that helps, like, get some awareness around deepfakes and put out, like, a scholarship thing and whatever. I was just like, dude, that was rough. And it kind of made me more alert in some ways. So it was one of the more fun things that I've had to kind of, I guess, focus on and do during our play sessions. It put me in an uncomfortable place that got me kind of awake in a different way. And so while it was uncomfortable, it was challenging, and I like a good challenge. And I think I failed pretty hard, but it's still great. So
The I think your nemesis is different than everyone else's, because everyone else is like, I'm gonna hurt you, I'm gonna damage you. This guy's like, I'm gonna hurt you emotionally. He's like, I'm not like physically okay, whatever. I'd like to do that, but really, my goal is to just hurt you emotionally.
well, and honestly, like the ramifications of the damage that he ultimately did are still being felt in our current play sessions now, and I'm actually not even sure how crippling that's going to be
Yeah.
as we continue forward.
In what is it?
So
The chaos arc coming up. It's arc 6.
yeah, I'll just say right now the group is in a tight pickle, and I'm feeling like I don't have the same kind of support that I used to have before Nemesis arc and what Jonathan did. So
It's all part of the
it's rough.
plan. Moriarty's plan.
Yeah.
You said your favorite moment in this arc was the Neon Lincoln tune.
I mean, okay, so to be fair, I have only re-listened to, so it's fresh in my mind because I decided before we did this Q&A, I decided to listen to a couple episodes, and so that was just in the first two. I'd like to actually finish listening to the whole Nemesis arc because I kind of get lost with how far we've come and what resides in there. Yeah, I mean, I think to be honest, like the my favorite part about this whole arc is not so much like specific story things that happen, but like the challenge that I was forced to play out and respond to. I'd say it honestly was, I wasn't expecting it, and I really enjoyed it. Even if I also think I sucked hard and flopped. Like, I'm pretty sure Jonathan just tore everything to so.
Okay, and then I think the last question that we had, they asked if I have a story in mind or if I wait for the players to decide what happens. It's both.
We've asked you this before
Yeah.
too.
So I wrote the arc way in advance. all of the arcs. But as we saw in arc 6, the I guess that you guys haven't, the audience hasn't, but it didn't go anything near as what I was planning to be in an arc. So like
Oh
basically
yeah.
arc 6 and 7, what I wrote as arc 6 and 7 have all been merged into arc 6.
Yeah, we totally, yeah, we and I also like threw some wrenches into some of your plans too, which was a lot of fun.
I think Jade threw the biggest wrench.
She always throws the biggest wrench.
Yeah.
We're like, let's plan, let's go. She just take us in.
Leroy.
So. Yeah, that's Jade's MO.
I definitely have a plan, and I think the arcs that I wrote went pretty according to plan. There were some things that made it a lot harder for me to plan. There were some things that made it a little bit easier, and sometimes I write it not knowing who is playing what role. So I'll be like, I want this to happen, but I don't know who is doing what. There's a really good example I have for arc 5, but I can't really reveal that yet. Another good example is just Jonathan filling the bomber role. Like, I didn't know who was going to do that. I didn't know like how it was going to fit into the story, but I knew I wanted to have someone that did this. And the players never, especially like Theo early on, really went. I could not predict her. She was super unpredictable. And then I got really lucky with Zack early on. With like, you chose the things that I had planned for you, like the easy ones, all except for revealing your immortality. That was that one. Yep. I was like, I had to really force that one out. But
well, dude, I mean, you're just like, hey, you want to go put yourself in danger? Just go put yourself in danger. Like, just go do it. It's like, no.
Yeah. And then like you walking into the fixer trap in the beginning. I was like, why? They're gonna do that, really? Okay. Let me quickly make a character sheet for the fixer that I don't have. Like, how much damage does the attack do? I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, that was Jade. I remember that one. She's like, let's just do this, and we did. So
Yeah.
That was fun. But gosh, did we spend so much time preparing and use none of it?
There's a few times where like I've considered like, do I cut the sessions where we just plan and don't do it? Like, it's kind of is it because it's sometimes interesting to listen to the plan, but if you don't actually do it, is it worth keeping?
Oh, I mean, there's like, well, I mean, I see your point, but there's also a lot of funny.
Yeah. If it's funny,
jokes that kind of come in there, and there's this back and forth, and sort of you start to get into what we're thinking about and our perspectives. I mean, I could say, like, just thinking back now, some of the most just verbose, like talking back and forth and planning stuff will happen with Callum and the group, and we're going back and forth and just coming up with all these things, and like, you start to kind of, I think Callum's character is worried a lot, and he'll play to that too. And voice
by Driver Dale that one time.
Yeah, and Alex does this thing where he speaks for Callum in the third person to kind of adhere to that whole anxiety thing, and so all this planning and stuff will happen. So I think it's fitting. And I think that also your style of kind of orchestrating all of this leads to a bit of a mixture of like a mystery action kind of play sesh. You know what I mean? Like, we do a lot of mystery deducing of things and investigating of things, and there's a lot of mystery in it. That's for sure.
Okay, so I have the cuss counts. Now, I did this in everybody else's. Now it's your turn. So I have how many times each of us cussed in episode 19 to 27. So who do you think cussed the most in
just this arc, or
in just this arc, in episode 19 through 27? I'll tell you what, the bomb episode 26. It had by itself 30 censors.
I don't know if I'm trying to remember like that time when we were playing, I would have to guess that Edward swore the most. I feel like there was an uptick of swearing from Edward,
He
and it
definitely
might
had
have
the
been at
most
that
in
time.
26. In 26, he had
Uh,
11 by himself.
okay. Yeah, because I want to say Edward probably had the most. Second most, um, probably second most would be myself. Third most, Jade. Fourth most, Callum. Yeah, I want to say Edward, Zack, Jade, Callum. That's gonna be my guess.
What about me?
You swearing? Uh, I'd still put you
I,
at the
I
at
have.
last, but maybe not last. I mean, you're either fourth or fifth. That's got to be, yeah.
You're right there. I am fourth or fifth.
Okay.
Okay, so it's. I think you nailed it. It's Edward, followed by you, followed by Alex, and then way below everybody else is me and Kristen. Kristen is last, with three swears in all of the episodes.
Oh, so I was close. I just had Jade and Callum flip flopped, and then. Oh wait, she was below yours
Yeah,
too.
she had half as many as me,
Okay.
and I had a third as many as Alex. You, Alex, and Edward were all up in the mid-20s.
Was she quieter in some of those sessions too?
I think she was missing for one of them.
Okay, and I know the first two I just listened to. It's a lot of Edward and Jade. Oh, and Alex isn't in those ones. Yeah, no Callum in the first two. So I think it's off in like South America doing something.
Oh, cool. Well, I think that's most of what I have. Is there anything you were thinking you wanted to say?
Oh my gosh, everything that's coming up. But where are we at in how many are released at this moment of this recording? Are we How far are we through the next arc? Or we finished Nemesis, right?
Yeah, we finished Nemesis.
Yeah.
The intermission just aired, the one where you made your
Is it the lawyer one?
no, not that, we're not that far. The one where
Okay.
you made your catchphrases.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, that one just aired, and
Uh.
the next arc is the first episode of the next arc is scheduled, but it's not going to be published for another 2 weeks almost. So maybe by the
Okay.
time this airs,
Well,
it'll be the start
I
of
will
the
say,
impersonation arc.
yeah, going forward, everything gets a little crazy. So if you've hung in this long, you gotta finish it out.
And I told you ahead of time, we would get some plug work in. So what were you doing this weekend?
Yeah, I guess for the audience, if you don't know, I am a video game developer part-time. I just have a personal studio with a buddy of mine, and yeah, we were demoing our latest game all weekend at the Washington Gaming Expo. That was a hit. Our game is super choppy. It was crazy, man. Like we sat next to we were demoing next to another group that was doing a similar kind of game where you set these high scores, and it was really fast action, hotly competitive. And so we had these awards with these 3D printed characters from our game. People could win them if they did exceptional feats or top the high score charts. And by the end of the second day, people were asking for autographs on the 3D prints from us, and I was blown away. I was like, "What? Okay, cool." So we're really excited for this game. It's been getting a lot of good feedback, and we're gonna try to get it into PAX, and we'll see how that goes later this year. So.
And I think I'll post a link to the game or the page for the game on this video. Super choppy. Go play it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Well, I guess I'll see you guys in the next episode. We both will.
Sweet. See you guys. This has been great, and it gets pretty crazy from here on out.
I think it's fun. All right. See you later.